On behalf of friends and family and all the members of Generation Rising, I would like to wish you all a happy and safe Halloween.
Happy Halloween! Everybody have a spooky time.
Untied, we stand. Long live our way. Mankind is unkind man. God luck and good speed.
Happy Halloween, everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of Generation Rising. I'm so happy that you guys can join me. Today I want to have a little sit down with you guys one-on-one. I know I've been having a lot of guests on lately, and I love having the guests, don't get me wrong, but there's some times where I feel unneeded fetters to talk about things and rant, because you people are the only people that want to listen to me, which is good. Maybe. Anyways, we'll get into that. One of the things that I really wanted to cover today, an article that stood out on brainpickings.org, a Facebook page that I follow on Facebook, was JFK on poetry and talking about Robert Frost. Him and Robert Frost had a good kinship together. They wrote each other. Robert Frost thought highly of JFK, and JFK thought high of Robert Frost. And on October 26, 1963, JFK made a speech at Amherst College talking to a group of graduates. And he made slight observations on what he thought of was the true role of the artist in society. JFK, for you people who don't know, was the 35th president. He served from 1961 to November 1963 and was assassinated, obviously, in Dallas, Texas, by Lee Harvey Oswald. He was preceded by Dwight D. Eisenhower, another great president of our time, and succeeded by Lyndon B. Johnson, who I honestly really don't know that much about to even criticize or think highly of. He was a Democrat, and he only lived to be the young old age of 46. He was one of the youngest presidents to be ever elected into office. I think he was second, I believe. That could be wrong, maybe. I believe Teddy Roosevelt was 42. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. But I would like to read you some quotes from his speech. And if you guys do get a chance, you guys should go check out the article for yourself on breakpickings.org. I might have a link for it in the description. But they actually have the real audio on Soundcloud of JFK's speech. And it is absolutely fucking phenomenal. One of the quotes, quote, If artists nourish the roots of our culture, society must set the artist free to follow his vision wherever it takes him. We must never forget that art is not a form of propaganda. It is a form of truth. In free society, art is not a weapon, and it does not belong to the spheres of polemic and ideology. Artists are not engineers of the soul. It may be different elsewhere, but the democratic society, in it, the highest duty of the writer, the composer, the artist, is to remain true to himself and to let the chips fall where they may. In serving his vision of the truth, the artist best serves his nation, and the nation which disdains the mission of art invites the fate of Robert Frost's hired man, the fate of having, quote, nothing to look backward to with pride, and nothing to look forward to with hope, unquote. JFK was a man, for both reasons, for both poetical and political, was a man who looked forward to the future and what it brought to people. Instead of running and hiding behind political ideology and servitude to a politics that is devoid of human rationality and logic like it is today, JFK was a pioneer of not only politics and trying to make the strongest and best nation in the world, but he was a poet and an artist at heart. And he was one of the few presidents to realize that artists play a very, very vital role to any democratic society. Because remember, for all those who've forgotten, this nation was built by the people, for the people. JFK, during his very short 2 years, was faced with the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Bay of Pigs invasion, the nuclear test ban treaty, the establishment of the Peace Corps, the developments in the space rates, and the building of the Berlin Wall. The Trade Expansion Act to lower tariffs and the Civil Rights Movement also all took place during his presidency. Talk about a lot on your plate in the first 2 years. That's a lot. That is a fucking lot. Check that out, please. Okay? Let him be remembered for who truly was. Sure, I can't stand Catholics. I mean, not personally. Like, I don't have a vendetta against a person if you're a Catholic. I'm not gonna, like, hit you or anything. I mean, I just don't like the Catholic religion. He was a Roman Catholic. But he's a smart one. A smart one. A man who was a true leader, who looked forward to the problems and knew that if we looked at it with just understanding, rationality, and love, we could solve it. We could solve it. Let's go on. Recent developments throughout the past weeks in the Dakota Access Pipeline are insanely startling. The militarization of the police was used on these people to remove a bunch of natives from private land. When is just this going to end? This ties into what me and Lee talk about consistently and constantly all the time about climate change. I mean, how much oil and how much water has to be destroyed before we just literally put a stop to all pipelines? Why can't this country and this nation, which focuses solely on so much in profit and money, why can't we just see the fucking faultiness of this shit? It's a shame to me, okay, how these people, they're not even talking about this. Yeah, all media outlets are ignoring this. Nobody's even giving it a main plan to stage, but yet it's thriving. It's absolutely thriving. And if you guys want to go help these people out, either go there, stand with them. I'm actually even debating on going there for at least a week to show my support, because, I mean, these guys are just water protectors. That's literally all they're doing, is just protecting the water. I mean, that's like a basic thing that every person should agree on. There should be no disagreement in this, absolutely at all, but I'm pretty sure you're going to find some dissent somewhere in some crowds. I actually haven't found that much, and I'm very glad at that, because usually, you always have these trolls involved, and I haven't seen it. Maybe there are out there, obviously, probably, but from what I've seen, it's actually the majority of people are about this, and they appreciate and respect what they're doing. And go to the GoFundMe. I've donated some money. You guys should go and donate too. It's GoFundMe.com/stand for, as in the number 4, standing rock. Go there, donate. They've already reached their goal, but I mean, these people, they deserve absolute help and whatever they need. I think there's seen in other reports and news that more camps are being set up, because no matter what, they're there to stay, and I'm here to support them. I hope you guys can get on board too. Alright, well, for the first 8 minutes of this podcast, I've avoided talking about the election, and now that's over with. So we have literally 1 week or 8 days, depending on when this comes out at, till the election. And I cannot wait till this is over with. This has been an absolute drain and a drag. I just cannot wait to see who's elected and who we can get in office, so we can just fucking move forward with this shit. What a fucking drain. What a fucking drain. What an absolute horror show this has been. And it's not going to be the same again. It's been uncovered how America has been uncovered. It's been found out that it's fucking broken. It's absolutely broken. And but it's our job as the citizens of this nation to fix it. Not to throw it away, not to pitch a fit and fucking commit anarchy and fucking kill people and hurt people. No. We got to sit down and we got to figure this out. And it's a lot of work. It's so much work to the point where I get depressed just thinking about it. But you know what? Hey, we got to be strong here. We're men of this nation, and we're going to carry on with our integrity and with morality and with purpose. And that's coming from a secular humanist, not a fucking religious zealot. So, like I said, whoever you support, just make sure you get out there, make sure you vote. Get actively engaged. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're not going to listen to the show week in and week out if you're a Trump supporter, which I appreciate, though, if you do. I mean, I listen to other trash shows out there just to get a different perspective on things. You know, I'm not a one-track listener. It's not like I don't like to hear what the other side has to offer. I'm always open to compromise. I'm always open to dealing with things. I'm always open to it. I'm never one to, put my hands in the sand and be like, no data can change my way and my way of thinking and my way's right and your way's wrong kind of thing. No, I'm not. I don't know everything. I'm a fucking nobody in a sense. I appreciate, people who do know something and are somebodies, and they can have the integrity and the knowledge to listen to other people talk and be swayed by their opinions if it is worthwhile, to look on data and be skeptical and come to the conclusion based upon the facts of the conclusion. And that is going to transfer now into the main topic. I'm really fucking up on this episode. I'm sorry. I'm doing a terrible job. The main point of this whole entire podcast, okay? To get a sense of, Halloween and, everybody's supposed to be scared and scary things and horror shows and all that. Let's talk about what we really should be afraid of. Let's talk about that. And, well, it's all right here in the writing, people. The thing to really be afraid of, from my perspective, and something that has been seen through my eyes, are religious zealots. They are a true threat. Religious zealots from all sides. I don't care if you're in Islamic, whatever. I don't care if you're a Catholic. I don't care if you're a fundamentalist Christian. You're a threat. You're a threat because you hold dear in your heart this ghostly and ghastly notion that you are right and that everybody else is wrong. Everybody else is wrong. You hold no remorse for this feeling. You tout it. You scream it at the top of the lungs. You fight for it vehemently in our politics and in our main plays and in our main business world and the world that we see. And you will fight it with bullets and you will fight it with bombs while the whole world watches in horror and dismay. And while innocent people's lives are caught in the middle of your fight that makes absolutely no sense and holds no ground in today's world, you continue on. And that's fine. Go ahead and continue on. Because you make a mockery of yourself through every innocent blood that is spilled on behalf of your religion and your zealotism. And I don't even know if that's a word, but that'd be a cool word. Oh, shit. Religious zealotism. Well, anyways. You make a mockery of yourself. An absolute mockery of yourself. So keep on doing it. Because the world is seeing you for how it is. And whether you believe it or not, whether you want to live in your bubble, you're losing. You're losing to rational people. You're losing to logic. You are losing at every sense of the word, because I have a very small reach on people. Very small. But the people that I do affect and the people that I am able to converse and talk to know my place on these things, on these issues. And they know how vehemently hard I will fight against this poetic notion of instability by fighting for some sky daddy and just watching the world crumble because you hold true to your book and your 6,000-year-old thing. And don't even get me started, okay? You want to challenge me on this shit? Please do. I beg you to challenge me. I beg for a debate. I beg for open discourse. I will not hide from you absolutely at all. I myself, as a growing up kid, was a fundamentalist Baptist. I read the Bible 3 times, which the majority of Christians haven't even read. They don't even take the time and consider to, because they just want to be spoon-fed. Okay, so, but please understand that there are people who have big mics and have a lot of pull in society, and they're touting this notion. They're showing you your true colors, especially you on the religious right, especially you. You Ted Cruz's out there, you Louis Gohmert's, people who believe that Mars has the same atmosphere as Earth, and I mean, who are not grounded in reality at all. And you stand up there and you say you're for the moral right, and you know, you want Christianity to be the world's religion or something, or it's supposed to be America's religion, which it's not, but that got construed through through mounds of recourse, through the Jerry Falwells of the time, now all the way down to the Joel Osteens of today's standards, and Billy Grahams, and the legitimate scum of the earth who have literally fed off of the innocence and off of the situations of people. I mean, you televangelists, man, how the hell do you sleep at night knowing that you are literally feeding off of the poor and desperate? The people that you, and the person that you preach, Jesus Christ, who supposedly helped out these poor people so much, and you tout that symbol as a way to go under and underneath people and steal and take and steal and take. So no, will I ever fight you physically? No, I'll never fight you physically. I don't wish death upon you and your family. I don't wish disease. I don't wish disaster strikes, even though you do. And even though you tout that every single time a disaster strikes this planet, you tout that as a way of people turning away from your religious ideologies. That's fucking insane bullshit. I would never wish that. Never in a million years on my worst enemy. On the Satanists, on the Cretans, on the fucking... There's very few people, very few groups who I'd wish disaster upon and wish a bomb to fall into their head in order for them to come back begging on their knees for the grace of God and the blood of Jesus Christ. Never in my life. But you do. So I don't wish bullets upon you. I don't wish death upon you. I don't wish disease. I don't wish moral depreciation come to your society. No. But like I said, I will keep fighting you on your ideology. And we at the show will keep fighting you on your ideology. And we'll see where this goes. Because people who have power for such a long time, such as yourselves, whoever you are out there, you power structures, you're going to fight back pretty hard because you don't want to lose it. That's just in human nature. We see that with the greed of the corporations. We see that all over and all the time. So the greatest threat to this nation is any religious fundamentalism, because it doesn't acknowledge science. It doesn't acknowledge the fact of coming together to literally try to better our lives for our children and our society and the world's sake. We are fighting a losing battle with these people, knowing full well that they're like literally not even living in the world. And I'm having a really tough time, and this probably sounds really jumbled and stupid, but it's just this thing that's going on here with this crazy ideology that we see on the far moral right, quote unquote, fucking air quotes, and this is an issue it's really hard to grasp for me, and I'm very glad of shows like Cognitive Dissonance. I'm very glad for shows like The Scathing Atheist, David Smalley's Dogma Debate. I mean, these are shows that literally are fucking amazing, way better than this show, and they tackle these issues head on and talk about it way better than I can ever talk about it. But, man, like, I really fear for the world, because no matter who wins this election, right, the other side is just going to be downright pissed. Then we're going to start pissing and moaning and trying to make excuses on why Hillary lost or why Donald Trump lost. And, Donald Trump's constituency, that they're not going anywhere. They're here to stay. And now, if Donald Trump doesn't win it, now what happens is somebody's got to fill that void, to be that power, to be that voice for them, voice for those people. And who's it going to be? David Duke? I mean, literally a KKK Grand Wizard who is actually running for another seat in the political office, the political realm. We have real life religious and racist zealots who are in our government. And this can't be like, look the other way. You can't just ignore this and act like this is not an issue of our time. These people don't belong in the halls of democracy. They don't even believe in democracy. They don't even believe in the true meaning of the Constitution. So let's just knock this shit off. Let's knock it off. Let's join together and let's create this. So let me give you a couple points on why religion does more bad than it does good. One, which is the biggest fault that I can see, is using faith as like a principle to stand on. Using faith as like a patch of honor for these people, because you can show them all the evidence in the world, and this is not even going against their God. Like, it's not even like, hey, well, look at science says God doesn't exist. No. It's just like real things, like in real life, like let's stop being a climate change denier. let's look at that. Let's look at hey, Obama's not a Muslim terrorist. And it's just like, oh, well, I have faith in Jesus, and he is. Or climate change is not real, God wouldn't allow it. Those are deadly thoughts that are going to cost millions of lives. Just those two thoughts alone from very two simple people in middle class and lower class. That's devastating to society. Number 2, this promotes tribalism, and we see this all too well in our political realm. We have the far, far right that is at odds and literally are saying right now, if Hillary Clinton gets elected, they are going to do everything to oppose whatever Supreme Court justice. You are destroying, even Clarence Thomas can admit that is going to destroy an institution of our government. They are literally out to sabotage 1/3 of our government, the judicial branch. It's literally going to say, fuck that. Fuck it, because we don't believe it, because we don't want to accept her thing, because she deserves to be in jail, because the emails, because this, because that. Folks, these are obstructionist, the most scary people on the face of the planet, and they need to be recognized as such. And I'm not calling for arms, okay? I'm not calling for fear. I'm not preaching anything, okay? This is just a podcast of me blabbling, okay? But it should be taken seriously this is the thing. This is the horror of our nation. This is the fault of our nation. This is what has been exposed with this election. Religious zealots are alive, thriving, and well, and they are untaxed, and they are spewing their hate, and they are spewing their bigotry day in and day out against minorities, against gays, against people who just don't agree with them, against atheists. If they had it their way, if you did not think and believe in Jesus Christ or believe in such and such, who knows? And I'm not even going to speculate because I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist, but who knows what they would do. We see it with their legislation that they try to pass and try to literally, Donald Trump gets up there, well, yeah, if a woman has an abortion, she deserves to be punished. What does that mean? What does that speculate? So let's open up another part of our prison population to women who want to have abortions, and then what about people who want to be gay? So what are we supposed to do? Make that a crime? What about the people who don't believe in Jesus? Are we going to make that a crime? I mean, where does that end? Where does that end? They always want to talk about where does the liberal government end. It's 1 minute it's this and the next minute it's that. That's why they don't want to, like the NRA. That's why their whole stance is based upon like nothing will ever get past them because they realize that if they lose ground, they're never going to gain it back. Okay. I mean, millions of lives are at stake. People die every day during guns, but you go ahead and you fight your moral battle, quote, air quotes, unquote, whatever. So, to end on a good note, just recognize that, okay? I'm not saying be enemies. Some of my personal, professional relationships are with Christians, and does that mean I don't talk to them or I act weird around them or I try to dismiss them and acknowledge them? Some of my family members are religious, okay? So this doesn't mean to let's group up together against them and, let's try to do our best to bring these people down physically or no. But just recognize the power in ignorance. That's it. Recognize it for what it is. And at any chance that you can call it out respectfully and honestly, do it. Don't be afraid. Call it out every single time. I do that all the time. And I do it in a polite and productive manner. And 9 times out of 10, it works. Because they're left speechless. They're left like, oh, shoot, man. Okay, I get it. You don't have to spew hate at somebody to change their mind. Because spewing hate really never even changes anybody's mind. Spewing love, compassion, being funny with it, being, a little comical about, your point takes it a long way. So let me stop Glenn Becking over here because I feel really weird about this. And this is my first podcast where I've, kind of just went on my own about this. But I really realize, and I want everybody to realize, that this ignorance in our midst can potentially destroy the nation. And it needs to be stopped and it needs to be called out, like I said, peacefully and respectfully, every single time. Don't let it slide by. Don't let it slide by. We're going to keep calling it out. We're going to keep ramping it up. I thank you all for your support. I thank you for listening to this podcast. Listen to me ramble and jamble on. Tell me what you think. And by all means, if you have any person out there who is a religious zealot and who would like to debate me on this, or I fucking welcome it, man. I really do. I'm looking forward to taking your ass down because, you know, I'm not shying away from this. And neither should you. You know, let's have a productive debate and let's have a good, honest debate. But let's not hide behind a 6,000-year-old book. Let's not hide behind 10 commandments that have no bearing in our real life. Let's stop hiding behind things and let's face the world for what it truly is. Good evening, folks. I'm going to watch Game 6 of the World Series and root on the Cubbies. Yep, I'm a Chicago Cubs fan. So you guys have a wonderful night. I will probably either have Lee on next week or another guest. So this whole solo thing with me and you people, probably going to hand them randomly and rarely, because, you know, I like talking to people and I think we have good conversations with the show, and I think the show moves forward a lot better when I have somebody talking back and forth. Whether they share the same viewpoints with me or not, it does not matter. This is not a left wing, you know, paneling to the left base. No. It's just a bunch of people in the world who are living life in 2016 and who see problems arising and just don't know what to do with it and don't feel helpless. We're going to figure it out. Don't go buy Jim Baker's buckets of slop, and don't go buy Alex Jones's supplements for you. Like, don't do that. They're preying on your fear and they're preying on your despair. And we'll make a difference. We will. And good night, y'all. I love you very much. And oh shit. Okay. Well, peace out, homies. See you next time. Bye, motherfuckers. Of life.